The news of Rick Harrison's demise has taken you by surprise. The Pawn Stars' geomancer, who built a culture around weapons and family history, is now faced with a natural responsibility that has disappointed his world. This time, it's not just a matter of location or network name. It was a disappointment to the first of his life. For nearly 2 years, Pawn Stars has disappointed hundreds of people with a special way to introduce economics. The show's guest hosts have all faced disappointment stories. Among all of this is Rick Harrison, the show's host and merchandiser. Rick spent the early part of his life working hard to build the culture, but while his life has flourished, his life has faced many hardships, including a long construction war that has devastated his family. Rick's birth name is Richard Kevin Harrison. He was born on May 22, 1965, to Richard Benjamin Harrison and Joanne Rue Harrison. He is the third of 3 children, with brothers Sherry, Joseph, and Chris. The Harrison family lived in Lexington, North Carolina. Their father, Richard, was away from home a lot because he was in the U.S. Army. His time there was hard for the family, but it was necessary. Rick's family, Sherry, was born with Down syndrome. Their father was in the military to ensure her medical opportunities. However, Sherry left when she was only 6 years old. This ending was very upsetting for their father, and they later said, "Sherry has been the light of my life for as long as we've had her." Rick was only a year old when Sherry left this place, so he never had the chance to know her well. If given the chance, losing her might have been too much for him. When Rick was also 2 years old, his family moved to California, San Diego, due to his father's conversion. Growing up after losing her was quite difficult, especially seeing how it destroyed his family. Rick soon became the target of his family's attention when he began to have mild illnesses at the age of 8. He often had to sit for long periods of time. During this time, he developed a love for reading. Rick loved to talk about weapons, and had a love of economics and history, especially before he became a military center in the 1700s and before he became a military center in the 1800s. When he was quite hard, he attended Taft Central School in San Diego. Rick was naturally very interesting and had a strong sense of professionalism. He dropped out of school to focus on making money by selling Gucci merchandise and earning up to $2,000 a week. In April 1981, the Harrison family moved to Las Vegas, Nevada. After their office industry was destroyed, Rick's father opened a 300 square meters military center in Las Vegas, in the north of the country, and produced goods and money with his own hands. Rick was 17 years old and things became easy when he and his girlfriend, Kim, faced a life-changing case. Kim became a mother, but sadly, the case ended in a trauma. Losing his first daughter was very painful for Rick, and Kim felt sad again. However, their grief brought them closer and they decided to date. Within 2 years, they welcomed their first daughter, Corey. In 1983, their second daughter, Adam, followed. But after Adam was born, Rick and Kim's relationship ended. The reason for their suffering is unclear. The suffering left Rick miserable for a while. But everything changed when he met Tracy. Rick met Tracy through a breakup 9 months after his heartbreak with Kim. They were broken up for 6 months and soon got engaged. 8 months later, they reconciled and started to freely have Corey and Adam. By the time Rick was 23, he had enough money to become a partner in his father's business. Rick's knowledge of history and economics helped develop the store's memories. He would share interesting facts about each segment, making them more interesting to customers. While continuing to work with his father, Rick also had the freedom to cut his eyes at night. But when the business got better, he left the night job to focus on the business. 5 years later, the business moved to a larger location on Fremont Street. However, after 2 years, the business went out of business and had to move again. Rick's father decided to become an entrepreneur. It seemed like the same choice. However, a historic event in 1955 in Las Vegas set the number of businesses in the business world by 200,000. By 1980, businesses had reached 200,000 and were still growing. Rick's father called the city's business weekly to find and planned to set up businesses when businesses reached 250,000. In 1989, the city reached that number. During that time, the company overcame several difficult business challenges before it finally took off. That year, the company finally opened its doors at 713 Las Vegas West, about 1.5 miles from Las Vegas Road. Before that, Rick and his father's company focused on the special business with armed forces, but soon the company became the first. During that time, the business of the enterprise became the business of Las Vegas. In 2005, the business of the enterprise was destroyed and became hundreds of businesses. In the following year, the business became a special business with an interesting story. A famous story is a Super Bowl team belonging to the Brock Williams baseball business. The business also helps the business to get money to put in the car to drive home. The business's mission has been around the History Channel, that is the creation of the business. The business plan is the brainchild of Brent Montgomery and Colby Gaines of Left Field Pictures. In 2008, they traveled to Las Vegas and fell in love with the unique businesses they saw. They realized these businesses had stories and people. So they found a family business to feature in a movie. They found a special business and a balloon business a little bit far from the Las Vegas ballpark. This business, run and owned by Rick, had over 10,000 varieties and was featured in a PBS movie in 2001. Rick always wanted a TV series about his restaurant. Brent and Colby first pitched it to HBO, but it was scrapped. HBO didn't like the first idea. However, they agreed to let them destroy it. This crew was changed to make the family look better. It used to be called Pawning History, but was later called Pawn Stars because of a choice in the name Pawn Stars. When Pawn Stars is discovered, the restaurant will open to the hotel. Only a few hotels can enter when discovered. The Harrison family became very famous because of the movie. Many viewers loved it and wanted more of it, which kept it coming back week after week. Pawn Stars became the best show on the History Channel. In 2011, it became the reality show behind the Jersey Shore. On July 7, 2011, Rick put his film, License to Pawn, Deals, Steals, and My Life at the Gold and Silver, into development. On July 26, it reached number 22 on the New York Times bestseller list. But 2011 was also a difficult year for Rick, as he and his second wife, Tracy, were in development. In a natural progression, Rick developed with Deanna Burdett the following year. Like Rick, Deanna also developed first. Rick's business continued on the strength of the film and fan energy. He and his team, including Corey and Chumley, were set to work on a movie called I Lost My Head in Las Vegas. A few days later, Rick was cast in a movie called The Middle. During that time, Rick was involved with Deanna Burdett in Laguna Beach, California, and became his second wife, Serena, Kiana, and Marissa. Rick became a developer on Microtouch One Razor, a film called Shaving Product, and became a part of a television series for it in January 2014. A few months later, the History Channel developed United Stuff of America, a series developed by the creators of Pawn Stars. The series recognized key weapons from key journeys. In Rick's case, he had a rough time. Some of the rough times came from him. One of the hardest times was when he lost his dad, Richard, who he called an old man on Pawn Stars in June 2018. Rick shared with his 45,000 Instagram followers that his dad had died of Parkinson's disease. A spokesperson for the Harrison family took responsibility for Richard's loss and shared Rick's statement. Rick shared a touching photo of his father under a white shirt, face and shadow. He said Richard Benjamin was old. Harrison passed away this morning, surrounded by his loved ones. He will be greatly missed by our family, the team at Gold and Silver Pawn, and his many loved ones around the world. The Ho Chi Minh Channel also shared their sadness, reporting that we will greatly miss our friend Richard, the elder Harrison, a beloved member of the Ho Chi Minh family and Pawn Stars. We will miss his wit and kindness. Our thoughts are with the Harrison family during this difficult time. Rick talks about how his father thinks of him and how he has made his life. He is my hero, says Rick. I am so lucky to have such a good dad, as the old man I am so happy to be able to share him with others who have seen him as a wonderful family man. He has lived a perfect life, and through Pawn Stars he has met people from all over. He showed the family's joy, hardships, and laughter. Rick also thanked everyone for their kind thoughts and asked for protection during this difficult time. Rick sent back a photo of his father as a young man in a military uniform. He said, "Today, I lost a friend, a father, a teacher, and more. The old man lost his long battle with Parkinson's this morning. I love you, Dad. See you on the other side." The Harrison family was devastated by the loss. Rick now had to deal with all the family issues and work alone. Things got even tougher with the COVID-19 pandemic in 2019. It hit Rick hard and destroyed the business. Many people were struggling financially, and it seemed like the liquor store would do well because they were saving money during the hard times. But that's not true for many liquor stores. While there was a time when the company started, it quickly fell apart. In an interview with Fox News, Rick shared how COVID-19 destroyed the liquor store. He said the company was struggling to get back on its feet. People were sad about life and not seeing the liquor stores as usual. Things got worse when he demolished the liquor store in February 2020 when there were COVID-19 cases. The company's business has been blocked for 30 days even though the company is still open. Rick is still determined to keep the company. He promised that he and the team at the liquor store will work even harder. In a speech in January 2020 to a Las Vegas station, Rick said, "We've captured value and given people more time to return their things. I know people are dealing with it. I've been in this city a long time and it's given me a lot. I kept trying to get it back." Rick was hoping and thinking the plan would be to get back in about 6 months, but that didn't happen. According to today's article in February 2020, that station that normally pays back over $1 million a year only paid back $337,046 due to COVID-19. Also, Rick's industrial issue is smart. He has a third wife with the person he dated in February 2020. TMZ has been reporting that Rick and Deanna were young and couldn't date. Rick says he and Deanna were young and couldn't date. He says he was young and couldn't date. 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 He was young and couldn't. Joanne said that in 2000, when she was in school and just out of the hospital, Rick had her report, giving her 51% of his restaurant. She said she was not sure what she reported at the time. This situation created a bad life for Rick. "You were proud of him as a family. We're shocked by those reports. It seems he changed towards his mother for money." Joanne said she was not properly informed about more than $500,000 in money and gold coins that she believed Richard had before he died. She also reported that Rick had blocked her report of $225,000 that her wife used to deposit. Joanne wanted the school to return this report. A report said that Rick's mother, who is nearly 80 years old, has many medical problems. Her medical bills are up to $155,000 a month. Joanne even filed a warrant to prevent Rick from taking possession of her family. This warrant could also prevent Rick from diverting or reducing her family's finances. She wanted the school to put her finances under a center that Rick could not control. "You are worried that Rick's money might be in trouble." Rick later responded to these reports, saying that the reports were not true. "And I believe the 81-year-old mother is being influenced by others." He shared that he just found out about the assurance report. "I have tried to contact her many times over the past months, but I haven't been able to meet her yet," Rick said. He said one of the companies being taken down was owned by his mother. This family mission continued until 2024, when Rick Harrison faced his worst. His son, Adam, died in 1939. A Clark County, Nevada media release stated that Adam's death was caused by a drug overdose involving fentanyl and methamphetamine. The Clark County Family Office determined his death was accidental. The mission took place when a friend remembered that Adam had not been seen since the 17th. On the 19th, Adam's family found him unresponsive and called the contact option. Adam was killed by a document on Instagram. He shared a photo of them together at a restaurant and said, "You will always be in my heart. I love you, Adam." This was followed by a photo of a heart. On May 26th, The family's mission. Laura Hurwitz secured the cause of death by a photo of the heart. She said, "We are very sad with Adam's death. Please cherish ourselves as we die." Rick also posted a photo recognizing the seriousness of the heart attack in the country. He promised that this issue would be resolved to save other families from experiencing the same photo. After Rick posted the photo, many friends and followers shared the error. "Just say, I'm so sorry, bro." Adam's photo. Corey also posted a young photo of them on his brother's Instagram, saying, "I will always love you, Grandma." Although Adam isn't the cute face on the heart photo, he worked in the yellow and red photo for a while before choosing a different path and becoming a doctor. Corey once replied that Adam never wanted to be on the show. The loss has completely devastated Rick and his family. It is the memory of the true plan and the destructive plan of the disease, which has destroyed so many people. Despite all the success and fame Rick had made over the years, the loss of his son was unexpected. Through all the hardship and loss, Rick remained hopeful and focused. He did not let his grief show and became happy with the unexpected. Also, while playing the game and surprisingly, Rick also got involved in politics. In 2020, he supported Donald Trump for politics and announced Daniel Rodimer as Nevada's third senator. Rick also thinks about playing for Nevada's governor in 2022. He said he could play for the U.S. Congress in 2024, saying, "A lot of people on the team have told me about it and I'm interested. I haven't decided on those things yet, but I'm defending my options." In 2023, Rick went to another area. He was named as the Prime Minister of Kentucky in a spin-off film of the Pawn Stars developed in Locust Grove. The name is the best thing given by the Prime Minister of Kentucky. Rick's life is also transforming well. He was joined by Angie Pushkin, a doctor from Las Vegas. His doctor assured the people of their condition, and Rick said, "Angie and I met 6 months ago. She's a doctor in Las Vegas. We were in Europe a few weeks ago celebrating her birthday." Rick shared photos of their trip, including a fun night out in Paris, giving away their status. Angie is not the mother of Rick's son and is much younger than him, but they seem happy together. In all classes, culture dictates that one can stay strong even when life throws them a curveball. In the case of work, loss of a loved one, and family issues, Rick finds ways to thrive and focus on what will happen. Some people have taken issue with the photo of Rick with Angie at the Eiffel Tower. Some have been critical, saying she's too young for him and calling her a doctor. One Pawn Stars doctor even asked her if she liked money. Rick, who is said to be good at reading people, doesn't remember these photos. He didn't let the pity get to him. Also, he continued to focus on having a fun life with Angie. Rick and Angie did a lot of fun things together. They've been to an Adele photo shoot in Las Vegas, met with Donald Trump, and been to a famous place in London. They've even announced more dates for Angie's birthday in May 2024. It seems Rick is finding joy in new experiences despite the tough times. Rick has dealt with a lot of hardship over the years. He has dealt with legal battles, industrial issues, family breakdowns and reconciliations. Losing his son, Adam, has been very difficult. And it's going to take time for him to work through that. You hope he finds peace and moves on. Now, Rick doesn't work full-time at the warehouse. Also, he's part of Pawn Stars Do America, which is now in its second week. He seems to be taking the semi-experience, doing things a little more. Rick spends quality time with Angie and her family, finding a balance between working and enjoying life. This new timeline shows that even after great hardships, Rick is trying to find reconciliation and make things work in his days.